And away we go. It is another nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. All right, Aaron. Let's get after it. Are we doing this? Is this
Guess
how
we're doing this. I guess that's what we're doing.
All right, let's do the thing.
All right, so got a lot of questions. We're not going to go 45 minutes like we did last night, but that was fun. Doing something a little different last night as we went live because
big crowd.
We ended up with 60 people when all was said and done, and not really much of a drop off from the end of the BCJ pod. So thanks to all those who did show up. First and foremost, wanted to ask about how did you ask around today at camp about how the Ryan Royer experience in the ring went?
A little bit. It was Ryan Royer. I mean, of course, everybody was fired up to see him. They call him the show, for obvious reasons. But yeah, those guys. Royer was such an under the radar heartbeat of that team last year.
Absolutely.
His energy is infectious, which you will get to experience every Monday night on the BBP, which we're doing a lot right now.
Who are you telling? I can't catch up with all of these video time codes. I'm trying.
I get a sense. Well, those will slow down Saturday. We'll have a couple a week, but it won't be 2, 3, 4 videos a day we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody loves seeing Ryan come around. He's such a big personality, such a fun dude, and I'm giddy.
Yeah, same. That said, there was a Let It Fly video that dropped tonight.
There was,
and I heard your voice because
I made it.
Can't get away from your voice right now. I mean,
did you have a convulsion when my voice popped up?
There was a little PTSD, absolutely.
How much are you looking forward to Sundays to hear Dave and Jeff talk?
Thank God it'll be somebody different than Chad all the time. But it also means another video I'm going to have to do time codes on. So hooray. But yeah, we got to see a little bit more of the locker room and some breakdown that maybe we didn't get to see as you were running around with your camera in the chaos that was the introduction of the locker room. And
most of it's in the videos that are on the board that are also up on this YouTube page. I think they did a couple questions with Zach with Tobes that were exclusive content for the Let It Fly series, which is that's fine.
To be expected.
Right. But a lot of it is the Cunningham stuff and some of the Tobler stuff, especially the part where I was asking the question.
Yeah.
But you can find that right here on this YouTube channel, or the videos are posted on BCJ as well.
And then we got to see a little bit more of course, the Evan Prater versus Ben Bryant quarterback competition has been wildly entertaining, and there's been ups, there's been downs. Sounds like there was a little movement today even, and you'll have to check that out in the camp notes. But I don't know. It's good to see other players talking about it. Obviously, they're asked about it in the a lot of the post-game pressers and what have you, or post-practice pressers.
Yeah.
But to see them in a little bit more comfortable setting with the video team that is not the media, it was kind of cool to see Trey Tucker talking about how they're best friends, and that pushes everybody to want to help both of them out and all of that. And I don't know, just that was kind of my takeaway from the second half of the video.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you got a good look at Kerry Combs' return.
Yeah.
I thought the Walt Stewart stuff was really cool. The Geno stuff was really cool. I've said to some of those guys, y'all don't know. Walt was a dog.
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 I love how he's just the video speaks for itself.
Yeah. I if you remember a couple of weeks, like when I talked to him last week, or I don't know, it could 5 weeks ago. I don't know how long we've been at camp. I just
right.
I all I know is my days are: do I have to wake up and go to higher ground, or do I not have to wake up and go to higher ground? And I've only got 2 of those left, and then life gets back to normal. But I asked Walt, and he's like, I'm Gino likes to see that name up there.
That's me.
That's me. Gino likes to let him know. Walt's a little bit more subdued about it. He's like, I bring it up every now and again to let him know,
Yeah, Malik's eyes were like,
yeah.
His film.
Oh.
He was good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, just getting to see coaches say, Bearcat for life, because they are literally still with the program and coming back because not just because it's a job, but a job that they want.
Right. And both of those guys have talked about, this is one of those lights at the end of the tunnel. You never say never. I know that I always hate when coaches are like, I'm never leaving. You don't know over the course of life what twists and turns lie ahead and where things may take you. So I don't ever love that whole, I'm not leaving. But it's always really cool to get the perspective of those guys and the understanding of the players that, these guys, this means a lot to them, and it reflects in how things play out on the field.
So getting to practice, I know that it's hard. It was hard for me to find questions to ask about practice without giving away anything, because basically it sounds like the offense finally had a day.
They had a day
where they were the stars,
except for first team offense, first and goal from the 3.
Well, and we got to hear. Well, I guess I got to read a little bit about that. We didn't.
We can talk about that exchange for a second.
Okay.
Run. No. And they ran Miles Montgomery. They ran Corey Keiner. I believe there was a Monty in there. And basically what had happened is they lined up Jawan Briggs and Dante Corleone next to each other in a goal line front. And that was the end of that.
And you have to feel good about that.
If they're in goal line, I feel pretty good. After what think about that. Briggs, Corleone, you could put Damo in there if you need to. Dominique Perry, he was in there with those guys. And then Van and Ponder. Or not Ponder. Where did Ponder come from? Jabari Taylor.
Because you're seeing flashes of Ponder in Jabari Taylor.
I like those 5. Good luck. That's why I've said I think the way this D line is built, they're built to be better against the run than last year.
Which
I think there was more
breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I think there was more speed and explosion last year with we've talked about this with Curtis Brooks and Maje. Those are quick twitch guys. Even Brooks from the inside, quick, quickness, moves, escapability kind of from that short area.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks had an NFL sack in a preseason game just last weekend and had a fumble recovery. Yeah, definitely twitchy.
Look, what I'm saying is Jawan Briggs and Dante Corleone are just trying to beat you up. They're just trying to take you and push you backwards at every possibility. Brooks was trying to get around. Inside move, outside, get in between guys and fill the gaps. These 2 guys aren't looking to fill the gaps. They're looking to take you as far into the backfield as necessary before dropping you off. They're like the Uber of defensive linemen. They just pick you up and except they take you where they want you to go. Just drop you off at a random location, usually a quarterback. But that goal line stuff was impressive because it wasn't really like the offensive line got blown off the ball. It's just that they couldn't move them. Like
where I mean, who's
Phil
big
Castellini? Enough? Where are you going to go?
Right. Who's big enough to move? I mean, even with good technique, as we've heard Jake Renfro talking about, who's big enough, strong? I mean, we heard it, we'll get to the Gavin interview, but there was something that stuck out. Even him saying that against Dante Corleone, it takes two guys to sometimes move him.
Right. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't.
So that, like I said, that's encouraging though, to know that the defensive line is stacking up like that on the goal line, especially when that was something that saved Cincinnati's season last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you right.
Yeah.
7 plays at the goal line.
They'll still be very good in short yardage situations. That's not gonna drop. They might be better in short yardage situations with this alignment.
Good to hear. But
do you like what I snuck in there on the dude of the day? It was like, I know Brent is going to ask me about camp superlatives on Monday.
I did see that. we definitely have to be picking out some guys that we're going to have to talk about on Monday. That said, you did interview Corey Keiner in his first appearance as a Cincinnati Bearcat.
That was a media gaggle.
Yeah,
little scrum.
I heard plenty of different voices in there. But I don't know. He just seems genuinely excited to be back home.
Yeah,
I did not know he was of a military background, which I found to be a little interesting, as I myself was as well. But his very yes sir, no sir, seemed humble.
Every individual person in the
media. Right, and seemed humble. I didn't see a guy who was, coming in as if he was the show. And you got to hear him talk about his relationship with Miles Montgomery. You got to see him talk about his relationship with a lot of the Coleraine guys, with Evan Prater. He did touch on, he was asked about the, did you hear I told you so when you came back, or when you came home to Cincinnati? And he essentially said, yeah, I caught a little of that, but I think I made the best decision for me. And he stood fast by his decision making in all that he did, and again, just seems happy to be home.
Yeah, sorry, caught a little bit of a hiccup.
I filibustered. I was running out, but I filibustered. So
big drink of water. Hopefully, it holds it down and it doesn't return. But yeah, it was a good interview. It was a good first get to know session with Corey, and it just so happened that today was his best day.
Oddly enough.
Yeah, he had a couple runs today that were like there was a spin move in the hole and take off again, like we talked about from a couple days ago, where Justin and I both like looked at each other like, ooh, that was interesting.
I know that you've said, obviously here and in the notes, that he did have some big runs. Now, were those untouched runs, or were those him?
If he was touched, it wasn't like it was a guy thudding him. Like, I think the first one, there might have been a hand or two on him.
Okay.
But it wasn't a tackling. So like he wasn't going to get tackled by those.
And that's what I was getting to, because I know it can be difficult to watch the running backs. So,
yeah.
Anyway, good to see Corey have himself a day. Maybe we start to see him trickle in with the ones. I don't know.
It started a little bit today. He got some reps with the ones. They're still obviously rotating through a lot of those guys.
I was trying to drive people to the article.
I know, but go check out the article.
You also interviewed Gavin Gerhart, who, is it safe to call him the Iron Man at this point?
Oh, what he's doing is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Obviously playing through, as he alluded to, playing through a little bit of shoulder pain and
a gash on his nose with blood coming down. How awesome was that for an offensive lineman interview?
Little WWE-esque.
Didn't even.
He was like, oh yeah, I guess I do.
I guess before the interview, somebody was like, "Get that," and he was, "Nah, interview."
It's part of his thing.
He smeared it at the end. He like smeared the blood down his nose. It was great.
That's fantastic.
Great. But no, he's taking what is an increasing portion, and they've dialed it back some in the past couple days just because it was getting to the point of like silliness.
Well, I love that he said, yeah, they're dialing me back, not because I want to, because I want to be out there, but it's probably best that way I can go full bore in the scrimmage, because let's rewind to the last scrimmage where he ran 90 plays.
Yeah.
Double IV, 90 plays. Yeah. Let's go.
So I'm starting to love Gavin Gerhart. Like, you know, he was kind of baby-faced, and like I felt bad for him last summer.
Doe-eyed, right? Like just
not even just doe-eyed, but like, look, you're the backup center.
Good luck.
I've never played center before. Figure it out. And by the way, Jake's got a hip issue that's going to need surgery at the end of the season. And at any given time, you could be the center for the number 2 team in the country.
Well, so
a position you've never played in a game.
How's that feel, though, to be that kid who obviously it's a lot of pressure?
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
We talked about it in the interview.
But also to know that your coaches believe in you that much to know that, hey, you'll be okay.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know. They gave him.
I think everybody was terrified, including Gavin, as he said in the interview.
He said it was the first couple of weeks. It was terrible. But I don't. I mean, at some point, it's got to feel good to know that my coaches trusted me.
Well,
I figured it out. I did it.
He came through on the other side because if you remember in the spring,
Renfro
was out, and Gavin was the number 1 center, and he had a really good spring, and it was like, holy shit, he figured it out. You know, that's not a position that guys just figure it out. Like it's hard. It's hard. That's not a position that guys just, the light goes on typically. Either it's like catcher in baseball, right? Like it's either something you're really good at or not. And I think the respect he earned from the coaches, he never bitched, never complained. He could have been in the rotation at guard last year. He could have been on the 2 deep, but they needed him, and he learned. He worked his ass off to learn how to be a center, and now he's at the point where he knows how to be a center, and if he's needed, he just slides inside. But he deserved the opportunity to compete at guard because he might be one of the 2 best guards on the team. And that's what we're in the process of finding out right now.
And he talked about that competition with Jeremy Cooper and how they're trying to make each other better. And again, you know, I know that this has been an ongoing theme of camp. Iron sharpens iron, and all of that. But they really are living it. Like you don't see these guys, even as they talk, there's not a hint of any uncomfortability with.
Yeah, no animosity, nothing
like that. So
and that's 2 guys today that are in the thick of trying to win playing time, trying to earn playing time, trying to be sharpened by the iron, if you will.
Or even if you won't.
And I thought both were great interviews. I thought that was one of our better days of like back-to-back guys that really delivered.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the first time Gavin Gerhart's done an interview.
I believe that's the first time he's talked, especially on camera. Guess what? There's going to be a lot of people heading his way because once we find out that you're good at it,
we want to keep talking to you.
Like, yeah, because like that's what the fans don't understand this, but from our perspective, that's what spring and higher ground are all about, is figuring out
who can talk,
who can give us a good quote, who can relate, you know, quotes that are going to resonate with the fans.
7 minutes of good stuff for sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Outside of that, in the middle of that interview, we got to see, from your perspective, Coach Luke Fickell take his annual ice bath as it was his birthday. So
it still is.
Fair enough. Still got a couple hours left.
You were watching the Gerhart video. You did not see. Luke Fickell was in front of the team addressing them tonight, and for his birthday, he said, "We're going to the movies." And then the whole barn erupted as everybody jumped up and bounced around and got happy. So for his birthday, he took the team to the movies tonight out in, I guess, Harrison. Is there a movie theater in Harrison somewhere? I don't know. That they rented out.
Sure.
But they're at the movies right now, currently.
What movie were they going to see?
He didn't say.
All right.
I'll find out tomorrow.
Top Gun.
If you're out there tomorrow, say hello. A lot of donor. It's donor day tomorrow at Camp Higher Ground.
Did want to make sure we wished Luke a happy birthday, just because he's been so good to the Bearcat Journal Network, and we appreciate all he does. 49, one more year before that big nasty 5.
It's old. It's hard getting old. It's hard.
So
I think in Lubbock when you're 50. It's hard.
I think that's about all. Well, we're gonna find out, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all I got, unless you got anything else. So
no, let's get out of here. Friday, the last regular practice at Camp Higher Ground, Friday morning, and then Saturday, family day, second scrimmage, and then it's back to campus and start getting ready for the pig roast.
Oh, one last thing. Bearcat Journal TikTok is officially up and running. You can find it in a search now as opposed to last night. And TikTok, we are affiliated now. So I think we can get subscriptions.
No, Twitch.
Twitch. There's too many moving parts at this point.
And Twitter, Twitch, TikTok.
Good Lord. Instagram.
We are affiliated on Twitch, which is the next step to being a partner on Twitch.
If you're looking for the TikTok link, it's going to start showing up in the description on these very podcasts, as it already has on a couple of them. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So,
do you like my choice of my introduction to TikTok?
It's fitting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's fitting.
The glass broke. Here I am storming out, drinking some beers, standing in the ring.
We'll see you tomorrow.
That's the nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!